And this one thing has truly been the catalyst for deepening my own understanding of myself. Welcome to the Permission Slip podcast, where I, empowerment coach, mindset expert, and holistic nutritionist Carmen Oling, share with you the tools, conversations, and resources you need to write your own permission slip, take massive action, and become obsessed with your own life. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Permission Slip podcast. And this episode is definitely one that is real time for me, on my heart, super juicy. And so what I'm talking about is the one thing that has been truly the catalyst for growth in all areas of my life. Seriously though, I mean, this one thing has been the catalyst for deepening my relationship with my own self, my intuition, personal growth, relationship growth, and even business growth and success. So let me share with you a little bit about the inspiration for this podcast this week. So I just got back from a mastermind that I joined, a mastermind retreat last week in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I choose every year to make investments in myself. And I will tell you what, investments in yourself are the most rewarding. You get the biggest ROI, so return on your investment, when you invest in yourself. So last year I did things like spiritual coaching. I got Reiki certified. I became I got a female hormone certification. I did things like that felt really expansive for me, that I really needed in my life. And this year, when I was thinking about what I needed, I really wanted to be in community with other influential, powerful, inspiring women. And I really wanted to up level again in all areas of my life. So again, personally, professionally, with my relationships. So I joined a mastermind. I joined the Powerhouse Women Mastermind with Lindsay Schwartz, if I could say her last name there, and Hannah Wells. And I'm having a hard time, I guess, putting into words. So the mastermind was actually broken up into like 3 or 4 days together with other influential women led by Lindsay and Hannah. And then they had some guest speakers. And then after that, Joel and I actually had an opportunity. Lindsay and her husband, Elliot, led a couples experience for 2 days. And Joel and I did that as well. So I'm feeling so expanded, like infinite possibilities. And it comes down to just this one thing. It's being in proximity, being in rooms intentionally with people who are doing big things, people who are thinking big, people who can challenge you. Because believe me, and a couple of times I was asked a few questions and I was challenged and I was like, I didn't know that was in there. I need to like dig into that a little bit more, because sometimes we can't see our blind spots and we don't know what we don't know until we're exposed to it. And if we're just staying at home, running in our circle with people who are doing the same things that we're doing, we're not going to feel growth. We're not going to feel expansion. If we feel like we know everything and we're the smartest person in the room, believe me, I used to do that all the time to myself. Because here's the thing, if you're good at everything, I know I was freaking good at everything, then you're limiting yourself from being great. And so the one catalyst that I'm talking to you about is getting yourself at the events, in the masterminds, in the rooms, in the community events, getting together with people who are going to challenge you to be your absolute best. And that means that you're probably going to feel a little uncomfortable. That means when you go to sign up for it or you go to pay for it, it is going to be a little bit of an investment. But you know that when you get into that room, just like I know when I get into these rooms, when I was in that room last week in the mastermind, there was some women doing some amazing fucking things. And instead of thinking like, oh, wow, I should be doing that, or why am I not doing that? The thought is always, damn, that's fucking awesome. I'm going to do that too. Maybe not that same exact thing, but I'm going to go bigger. I'm going to think bigger. I'm going to allow myself to be expanded. I'm going to get curious and take action towards more of my dreams. So I just wrote down 4 things that you can really get from being in rooms, attending events, joining masterminds, getting in groups. And there's many, many ways that you can start. If you're limited in proximity, join an online group. I have one. Other people have them. My group meets twice a week virtually, or twice a month virtually, and you get journaling, you get recipes, you get meditations to try, you get workouts to try. You get everything from a holistic life coaching standpoint that if you were to implement all those things each and every month that I send you, you'd be feeling pretty fucking good. In the show notes, there's a link for that. It's the Permission Slip Coaching Community or Collective, but there's other things in your community that you can join as well. And I know one of the things that I heard loud and clear, I sit in meditation and prayer in the morning. It was like, use your voice more, Carmen. Show up, stand up, speak. More people need to hear from you. And so I would ask, okay, I'm willing, I'm open, willing, and available to do that, Lord. Like, what capacity can I do this in? How can I make this happen? You know, I'm in Miami Beach and my community is all over the United States and maybe even in more countries too. Like I know Canada, but how can I do that? And so here's what I heard. It's like, take this podcast on tour and bring people together live in local communities. And so this is your invitation right now. If you have like $40, I haven't done the ticket price yet, but I'm going to before this episode airs. So if you have about $40, a couple hours, and want to come connect with other like-minded women in your community, I am creating the space for that. I will be your catalyst, and we will record a podcast live, all of us together, and I will talk to you about something so inspiring that you will leave taking action with deep connections with other women in your community. So the dates that we have for that so far, it's the Portland, Oregon area, April 16th. It's a Saturday. 11/11 is when we're going to start a.m. The next date is going to be May 14th in Colorado Springs, Colorado at SCP Hotel. Again, we're going to start at 11/11 a.m. And then in June, the date is still to be determined, but that's going to be in the Scottsdale, Arizona area. And again, it'll be a Saturday. We'll start at 11. And I invite you to mark your calendar to join us. If this is going to be like your first time really getting out and joining an event like this since the pandemic, like kudos to you. Take action on that. And if it's not, get your butt in the rooms. I'm also looking for, if you're courageous enough to want to collaborate, to want to be a sponsor for the live event. I want to hear about that. I want to highlight you. I want to highlight your business, and I want your business to be featured. So you can email Kathy, Kathi at carmenoling.com. That's also in the show notes. So I want to collaborate with as many female founded local businesses and all these tour stops that I do. And there's going to be more the second half of the year as well, to be able to bring people together in community, like-minded women. This is not just, your friend down the street or whatever. These are women doing big things. And if you want to do big things and have this be the catalyst, like I shared with you, for your own internal knowing, for trusting yourself and building confidence in what you are doing, your own personal growth, your relationship growth, and your business growth, then allow this to be the catalyst. And I know I said I was going to share 4 things. So the first thing that you can expect by getting in rooms, attending events, going to things like this is deep, meaningful conversations and connections. I like to say I am no longer available for just talking about the damn weather. We're talking about dreams and goals. We're talking about life challenges. We're talking about things that matter. We're talking about how we can help each other. We're asking for help because we're in a room of women that are able and willing and want to help each other. We all have a mindset of community and collaboration over competition. So deep, meaningful connections and conversations is so important. The second thing is you will leave. So whether it is this live podcast tour that I'm doing, whether maybe you attend one of my retreats, hey, permission slip retreat, Miami Beach in June, you can still grab your spot for that. Shameless plug. But whatever you decide to attend, afterwards, I don't want you to just take your notes and put it into a drawer. I want you to start trying things, start exploring and getting curious in your life, start discovering things, and just be a witness of it all. So instead of being in judgment of, I should have been doing this, I should be taking action on this, of something that I learned, just be a witness of how it's working in your life and change and adjust and modify. That's the fun part of life. Get curious. And then here's the cool thing in your journal, which I know many of you are into journaling. Write down and collect evidence for what is working for you. Write down and collect evidence on how awesome you are. Write down and collect evidence on how by getting yourself in these rooms, it was the catalyst, and how you're going to make a commitment to do that more often for yourself. The third thing is during these times, if you allow yourself to be open and free and vulnerable, because we all want to have that sense of freedom, you're going to have so much personal growth and breakthroughs. So let me give you an example. We had an amazing speaker at the mastermind last week. Her name is Lori Harder. Some of you may listen to her podcast, Earn Your Happy. If not, head over there and listen to that. She's building an amazing new sparkling rosé brand that has an NA option that I love called Light Pink, Lite. You can follow that at Drink Light Pink on Instagram. That'll be coming out this summer. But we were talking about trying things and talking about failing. And then she turned right to me and said, would you be okay if that failed? Like an idea and dream that I had. And the immediate answer that you want to give, that you know is the right answer, is yes. But in my heart, I was like, ooh, no, maybe I'm not okay with that. Maybe I'm not taking action on this thing because I am truly scared. Maybe it's going back to that old belief that I'm not safe and accepted. Interesting. So I'm sharing that with you because at every next level, sometimes things come up again. And when I wouldn't have never thought that or seen that if she didn't pose that question to me. And then I had a moment of self-awareness. Yes, I am holding myself back. I'm allowing some busy work and some things that I've always done that I could be delegating to my team because I just had an opportunity to grow my team. And I'm doing those things, but you know what? That's not the best use of my time. And I should be focusing on this other thing. But subconsciously, I'm not doing it because of that old fear. But like I said, if I wasn't in this room, if I didn't invest in myself, if I didn't stay open and willing while I was in the room with other inspiring women and listen and allow that question to be asked and me not give the quote unquote right answer, but the answer that I knew that was true for me in that moment that caused the breakthrough that is now pushing me to be the catalyst to take action every single day on that dream, that would have never have been there. And then the last thing is you just get such an amazing feeling of peace and joy and safety and acceptance. Because one of the things that happens is women share vulnerably. And when you hear other women share vulnerably, that is truly the greatest, the absolute greatest part of this human existence because we understand we are more the same than we are different. And when you hear someone say that they're struggling with something, and then you can speak up and say, hey, I'm struggling with that too, it helps them and it helps you. And both of you saying it out loud, it takes the challenge, it takes the power away from the challenge and gives the power back to yourself. So get yourself into rooms with people like this. Join me on the Permission Slip Tour live events. Like I said, save your coffee money for 1 week because it's going to be like around like $30-$40 to come. You're going to get a cool swag bag, but you're also going to get those 4 things that I mentioned: deep, meaningful connections and conversations. You're going to have an opportunity to have personal growth and personal breakthroughs. You're going to have a sense and a feeling of peace and safety and joy and acceptance in a room of women that are fucking awesome and inspiring. And from that inspiration, you're going to get curious and take action in your life. It happens every time. And then guess what? You stay connected to the community. And that's what you tap in on when there's times when you don't believe in yourself, when you lose inspiration or motivation or momentum, because guess what? There's someone in that community that can lift you up and believe in you. And then the belief comes right back. So again, the dates for the tour that I would love for you to join, and all the details are in the show notes. April 16th, Portland, Oregon area. May 14th, Colorado Springs at SCP Hotel, which if you've not been there and you're in Colorado, or you're in Redmond, Oregon, or Laguna Beach, or Hilo, Hawaii, or the Oregon coast, check out SCP Hotel because they have something really cool happening. It's called Soul Community Planet, and they're one of my partners for the tour. And I've been staying at their hotels and bringing clients there and having events and workshops there for the last like 4 years. And like our brands are just so aligned. So if you love the Carmen Oling brand and what we do as part of the Permission Slip community, you will love them too. So shout out to SCP Hotel. And then to be determined date in Scottsdale, Arizona in June. And if it is on your heart to collaborate, if it is on your heart, if you have a good idea for an event location, or you want to contribute to a swag bag, or maybe sponsor something specific monetarily at the event, I want to hear from you as well. And I want to highlight you and your business in your local community. So that's that. I'm so excited that I got to share this with you. I feel so lit, so on fire from my mastermind and putting myself in rooms, getting uncomfortable to have my own breakthroughs with deep, intentional conversations and inspiring women. And I just encourage you to do the same because it has been a huge, huge catalyst for me. And I just want you to know, will you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, you will a little bit. Will you feel nervous? Yeah. But once you get in there and you're open and you experience it, it's like, dang, why didn't I do this before? This is so fucking awesome. So that's that. If you love this episode, as always, tag me on Instagram. If you haven't been over to iTunes, the podcast app, leave me a review. I would love it. That's how this podcast can get out to more amazing women just like you. And just know that I am truly grateful for you listening. And I will talk to you all next week. Bye.